I'm Joe Neely from joeneely.net, and I'm very proud of myself because this is segment 5 of the very first episode of the Joe Neely Show. As I've said before, go back, watch the previous episodes before this one, unless the idea of hedgehogs is really important to you, and get a sense of the general flow of the show. However, I am recording them in segments, so you can watch them in whatever order you like, and there's not a damn thing I can do about it. But I'm very proud of myself for recording 5 segments in a row. This is really exciting. The topic of this segment is very different than the others. It's about hedgehogs, and it is story time. I really like to present my ideas in stories. When you get done with this video, leave a comment below if you want to hear more of what I have to say in story form, if the idea of cute little stories really helps you understand what potential, what possibilities, what opportunities you have in your life. Stories have a way of unlocking doors more than just about anything else. This story is the story of the Sleepy Hedgehog. The Sleepy Hedgehog was a hedgehog. It curled up into a ball when it got scared, and it would go to sleep. Now, this hedgehog had friends, other animals. They thought this was lame. They thought the hedgehog shouldn't be so scared. But one day, they were all scared. One day, it was rainy, but they were hungry, so they went outside, and they went down a steep bank, and they got down to the river. Then they realized that the river was too big to cross. They couldn't go back up the steep cliff, but the river, because of the rain, was running. So what are you going to do? You're hungry, you're scared, you're by yourself? You're going to sit there and wait for days until the river stops flowing so fast? You're hungry. So anyway, all the animals were in trouble. They were fighting with each other. They were arguing about whose idea it was to come here in the first place and all the rest. But the hedgehog went to sleep, curled up in a cute little ball and went to sleep. And the Sleepy Hedgehog had to process its feelings. It was scared too. And what it did when it was scared is it went to sleep. Anyway, it woke up. The animals were still fighting, but the hedgehog hadn't been fighting. The hedgehog was dreaming. In dreams, we process our subconscious emotions. So anyway, the hedgehog starts coming up out of its dreams. Its mind starts to work again in the waking way that the mind works. And the hedgehog said, you know, everybody, if we don't cross this river, it's going to stay for days and days and days. We're hungry, we're going to starve. We have to go across the river and get the food. As angry as we are about this, we only have 2 choices. Either do the thing, cross the river, or die. And I would rather take a chance of living. You know, I can go in the river and I might die, but I might live. I would rather take a chance that I might live than have a certainty that I'm going to sit here on this bank and starve to death. And so, all the animals grabbed onto each other as tightly as they could. They grabbed onto each other's fur, and they held onto each other, and they all jumped in the river together, trying as hard as they could to get to the other side without being swept against the rocks. And you know what? They made it. They got to the other side. A little bruised, a little battered, but happy that they were alive, and happy that they had taken a risk of death when the only other choice was certain death. So, as you can tell, I like to talk about deep things, scary things, important things with cute stories. If this is the kind of thing you like, comment below. Let me know you want to hear more stories like this. If you particularly liked this story, let me know. I'll tell it a few more times. I'll get it really polished up, and I'll maybe even write it down for you. But for now, it's just my way today of explaining something important, which is you only have a choice, a very simple choice. Either you fail or you try. Trying doesn't mean success. But if you don't try, you know you won't succeed. It's a very simple lesson, but it's one that we can forget quite easily as we go ahead and try to live the best lives we possibly can. So, remember the hedgehog. Sometimes you may need to stop fighting and arguing with yourself and just go to sleep, take a break, turn your brain off for a good while, and look the next morning to see what happens, to see what new insights, new energies you might have. Sometimes you just have to curl up into a little ball like a cute little baby hedgehog and have a nice sleep, knowing that we never really go to sleep. Our minds are always working, and we are always moving forward towards our dreams. So that's it. That's segment 5, story time. I finished all 5 segments, so that's all of the very first Joe Neely show wrapped up for you. If you liked or disliked things about this or any of the other segments I put out today, let me know. I will base the further content creation that I do, the further videos and stories and poems and, PDF or blog lessons, I'm going to base all that on this show. The purpose of this show is to throw ideas out there and for you guys to quickly let me know which ones you like the best and which ones you could do without. So that's it. This is the very first episode of the Joe Neely Show. I'm Joe Neely from joeneely.net. Right now, the best way to get a hold of joeneely.net is to type in starlight.joeneely.net. So that's a mouthful. I'm not even going to spell it out for you. Instead, I'll just put a link to the welcome page down there in the description part of YouTube, so you can find me if you want to dig further with this stuff. But hey, all I really want is a short comment. Let me know which parts of which segments of this show you liked or disliked. Let me know so I can customize my ideas to you. I know what my beliefs are. I know that what I care about most in this world is getting myself and you and everybody else to Starlight. But there's so many paths to take us there. And you get to help me decide, determine, discover which paths are the very, very best ones for people like you. I love you all very much. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.